I learned sort of the hard way that when someone dies, you don't ever want to make it about you. But with the theme of these videos, this one is sort of about me in terms of what Ed gave directly to me, which long and short is a sort of opportunity for an editorial leadership role within the community, wherein I sort of spurred and wrangled and edited and inspired, blah, 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 these 3 volumes to happen. This is Weapon Ech. It's a study, a send-up, a celebration of Barry Windsor Smith's Weapon X. And then this is a 2-volume set of Batman Year Wa. This one's in color, this one's in black and white. This one came out just in October, and this one, I don't remember exactly what the year is. Not important. These books are sort of legal parodies, and the proceeds of these amateur press association fan projects, the proceeds fund a nonprofit's arts grant called the Make More Comics Arts Grant, which is named after, you know, a bit from cartoonist kayfabe. The Make More Comics Arts Grant is Will Hoffneck's brainchild, and this is his 100% Comics imprint. And the grant is as closely modeled after Peter Laird's Xeric grant as possible. And it gives money to applicants to print their comics. And it's been going for a couple of years. And it's such an absolutely fantastic opportunity and expression of wanting to be involved and help. You know, this is a guy who, you know, he could have opened a store if he wanted to, if he had the time in some other life, perhaps. He has all the comics that he wants, you know, all this stuff he's collected. He's collected and collected and collected and collected, and he's like, well, how can I use my time and money and blah, blah, blah in the best way possible? So it was with an arts grant with this stuff. So it worked out quite well. We wrangled about 50 artists here, and we modeled it after like an old Marvel trade, and the trade dress on the inside is like Marvel Comics Presents. I'm very, very proud to have a, you know, Will, thanks for the little bit of shine that I got to take here as the Project Genesis guy. I could shout out a friend on every page. Here's Tony Wolfe, James Windsor Smith. This is John Ricchetti. I don't remember who it's lettered by, but I remember someone came in the pinch to make that happen. Tony, look at this guy. See, this guy's really, really copying. And then this is Rick, that it's like more in Rick Lopez's style. Here I am. I did a thing here where I was playing with the Gaussian blur to try to get him in focus. And I remember specifically in CKRS, a conversation, me and Ben Perkins got into it with this one guy about how the guy was like, this effect sucks. And I was like, well, I used it one time. He's like, what do you want me to do, shit on your work? And I was like, well, you don't need to do that. But yada, long story short, I kicked the guy's ass in conversation. Yeah, so I had a good time drawing these Logan shits. The coolest thing about this book is how the tone sort of shifts. This is Ian, from like hyper serious to like cartoony or silly. This is Misi. This is Joe. This one, I think this is Jeff K. Someone like he invented his own approach, blah blah blah, whatever. Kind of scary, this one. Yeah, so it vacillates from like scary and disturbing to like humorous. Like there's somewhere he's like, Jesus. This one's by Dov Torben. When I've seen a lot of like on Reddit, cartoonist kayfabers, is that people were responding to like seeing male friendship, like middle-aged male friendship about comics, because a lot of people never had comics friends. I am so blessed. I had a best friend in comics since I was 7 years old. That's Stuff Torben. I'm so happy that he's been involved in these projects. Here's Nisi. And if you don't have a friend in comics, like, get involved any way you can in any kind of local comics scene. Dude, your prince will come. It's incredibly powerful when you make that friend in comics. I wish I could remember who did every page, and I also wish that we had them labeled, but we fixed that later on. I'm going to move as quickly as I can. Tony Farrow, very well done. This is this page is inked by I believe a Marvel freelancer, Kenny Wong. Pencils on this, but he's not the freelancer. He did the pencils, and then it was inked by his friend, yada yada yada. I freelance at Marvel. Lady whose name I can't remember. But that's super cool. I think maybe this is Ian also. I don't remember. This is Dan Moeller. Dan Moeller was so psyched to get these pages. I don't remember who did it. This is some of my favorite stuff in here. I think, oh man, yeah, look at all this distortion. I could go on and on about every single page. This is Jessica Morgan doing Logan as Christ. This guy was a Marvel, was a 90s freelancer who was messaging me, and he was so excited that, like, there was a project like this that was structured in a way that was, you know, sort of open and fan-friendly and all this stuff. Like, he's got the 90s cross-hatching down pat. Bad pass. And then you cut to Jeff Manley. Jeff Manley, I will have to do a video on the Ink Panthers, who were a comics collective in the mid-late 90s and early aughts that I was, like, obsessed with out of college. And it was so cool to sort of have unfettered access to Jeff via Facebook when we were doing all these projects. Jeff did a lot of really funny work in all these projects. Here's Sam J. Royale and yours truly. We it was like a draft for pages. Actually, no. It was like, we'll open the gates at noon on Saturday, but obviously I had already claimed this page. Sorry guys, them's the bricks. I also gave my best friend of 35 years early access. Sue me, nerds. Yeah. Ryan Tavares, so cool. Ryan was in so early, was so psyched, got so many good pages. He got the one where he's fighting all the dudes. Alan. This is Misi. This is like very by the book for Misi. There's like no, Misi must have gone into a fugue state, just copied this, like, well, you know, listen to a podcast or something. More Misi and Greenwood. It's very cool to go back and forth a bunch of pages between these guys. God. The thing about Chris Misi, and I love it when this happens, is that this guy would be one of my favorite artists, even if I didn't know him. It's just my blessing that I happen to know the guy. More Alan. I think what happened was maybe we needed like more and more guys to, like, we needed guys who more and more pages, and Alan was like always there to chip in. I think that's what's going on here. Hey, Jim Dandy. Jim, this looks like Chucky, like Brad Dourif. This is a very nice panel, Jim. A very interesting interpretation of you know, Professor Cornelius, whatever his name is. Cabana Tam. Yeah, see the smart guys put their names. No one did. Sorry, I don't know who this is. This might be Rohigishi. Yeah, oh hell yeah, look at that. There it is. Ro, this style works really well for you. This kind of like open. Look at this. Who did this? Oh, Jerome. This is one of my favorite panels, the entire. The whole schmear. Okay, so cool. Ben Anthony, the what was it? The definition of underground. I think that MFT said one time. Sure is. Who is this? This is Jesco Mork. This is very nice, Jesco. I can't look at everybody. This is Grom, I think. Wow. Anthony Endure. Nice spatter effects, bro. Nice spatter effects, bro. This is also, I think, Kenny Wong and Italian Marvel freelance inker person. This one. Speaking of Ink Panthers, this one is by Tony Consiglio. Oh, man. I hope that we can see the Alex Robinson ones. Yeah, so Ink Panther Tony Consiglio is one of the funniest cartoonists I've ever met or seen in my life. Have I met him in person? Never met him in person. Ever read. So funny. We'll talk more on him later. Look at this. This guy really captured the BWS-isms. This one really has a lot of Barry Windsor Smith in it. So does this. This might be the same guy. Look at this. Mr. Value work here. And then right over here, I don't know who this is. This might be Ian goofing around. Oh, it's so good. These are by Alex Robinson. These are by my favorite cartoonist. I can't believe we got Alex Robinson to come out of 15 years of podcasting. No comics for 15 years to do. I don't know why. I hadn't even talked to him in a long time, man. Alex Robinson, if you find your way to watching or listening to this, well done. Thanks so much for doing this. Look at, oh man, quintessential Alex Robinson. Really nice. And then the killer is that Daniel Spotswood chases Alex Robinson. This is such... oh, man. Daniel Spotswood. He was also an Ink Panther. I mean, I did not need to explain the Forbush, how great the Forbush Man cameo is. Great without the Forbush Man. Great. So blah, blah, blah. The Torben, it keeps going and going and going. There's so many incredible artists who are in this. Thank you all for participating. And then when it was over, we said, well, we need to do another one of those. And so what we did was 2 volumes of Batman Year One. I'm going to pause and say that these books were all inspired by Dave Baker, who I mistakenly called Dave Cooper. Wrong, Dave. Dave Baker's Shitty Dark Knight, which is exactly what it sounds like when you consider what we just looked at. It's a study. It's a formal compositional study and stylistic riff on what's this book called? The Dark Knight Returns, Shitty Dark Knight. And I just want to. I think this one's signed. Oh, this one's signed by Mahfoud. There you go. I have been. I think Mahfoud is one of the first comics pros that I ever communicated with when I was like 19, 20 years old. I could not get enough of this guy when I was a young man. Look at, peep this. This is incredible. I don't know everybody here, but I'll name everyone that I know who I think is noteworthy. Andrew McLean, Headlopper, Dave Baker. It's his book. Nicole Go is a Dave Baker a collaborator. Don't know who this is. Alexis Zerrett. Oh, we mentioned that person previously. Space Raiders, also a Dave Baker collaborator. Check this out. Nick Darrington. Oof. Malachi Ward. Tom Neely. Ryan Quackenbush. Paul Mabry. Erwin Papa. Buster Moody. Zach Sodi. Jim Mahfoud. Jim Rugg. Matt Allison. Dave Baker. This is like the Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. We would do these projects, and we didn't expect anything out of Ed, and we offered him, I think, a space in this one because he had participated in image grand design. I didn't show those. I didn't show the pages off that Ed really, really generously offered to. That was sort of the high point of his like collaboration with these like Cosmic Lion
type projects was when he put in like his Liefeld comic to get reprinted in Image Grand Design. I didn't show that off. I should have. And Jim had a piece in that too. And they both looked really, really nice. But a lot of people had sort of cooled down from Ed because it was like a bit much. The persona was really insistent, and he would say it's like eyebrow raising stuff from time to time. And there were, you could see, there were definitely times where you could see that Jim was uncomfortable with things that Ed had said. So we'd cooled down from him a little bit, and I had actually cooled down from social media, and I think I'd cooled down from, I was like on total break from social media when Ed was on someone's YouTube interview podcast show, and there was a chat going, and one of our friends in the chat was like, yeah, if you want to see how the great impact of the good work that's being, the battery that's been put in the back, just check out these projects. And the host of the shows read like, I don't know, probably the super chat or whatever, and was like, oh, Ed, what's up with that? And Ed, I haven't heard it. I think he said something to the effect of like, nah, that's some unauthorized shit. I don't know anything about that. Next question. Which I find very funny that was that's like a very on-brand response. If you want this like comics bad boy of hip hop, like that is the Dark Prince that you asked for, But I had friends who were like absolutely livid, and they were in like the swap groups, like offloading his comics, being like, I don't want this in my house anymore. As for me, I gave my Red Room comics to my horror hound students who thought they'd died and gone to heaven, so they found their way into very, very good homes. But Ed couldn't be bothered to sort of to give these projects that he had inspired like the time of day, and that's fine. I have often wondered in the last month what would have happened if Ed wasn't like wired, if Ed's like sort of friendliness meter was wired kind of the other way, like what, say, his relationship with Eli might have been like had he continued to, in the friendly way that he was, saying, hey, Eli, go do that, which sort of eventually turned into like kind of chiding him to, like do his bidding. Instead of doing it, which if his goal was to have Eli help him do, X publishing projects, he could have found a way to have done it. That's all I have to say about that. Frequent commenter and fan of the show, Adam Lemna. So what happened with this one was that Mike Ortiz came on to do all this wonderful book design, and this one's really, the book design and all the credits down here really, really came out quite well. Proper index. And this is James Windsor Smith, Headphones Naked, of course. Teehee. These projects meant a lot to me. It really meant a lot to me that I had the opportunity to let all these people got to have their dream of drawing Batman in print come true. It's not a real DC comic, but it is a real book. And if it makes you feel any better, and I think it should, it funds an arts grant that does great work. This is my page. I was very happy with this page. Mike Mignola commented on some of these panels where Batman looks like he's about 10 pounds overweight. I thought that was very funny when I drew these. And you have people that are really, really sick and people that are up and coming. Who's this? Steve Thomas? Stephen Thomas. Unbelievable. Look at this. There were some people that had really, really innovative and unique approaches. My favorite, oh man, look at this. Yeah, like you're not gonna find this anywhere else. Omnivores. You get a bunch of people that like all kinds of comics, but mostly stupid comics from the 90s. And this is what you get. Well, this is the gift of the Piskor. Ed gave me the opportunity to sort of get to stand out on my resume, at least as an editor, and he did that by creating a situation where I could wrangle people to make these books, which was sort of the situation that I had been hoping I could find myself in, and Ed gave that to me. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ed Piskor. You did a lot for comics. And you would talk a lot about your plans for comics, and you could tell that your plans were going 30 years into the future. And we could tell that they involved publishing of some sort and changing models of distribution and models of, I don't know what. He had a better eye and ear and imagination for the history and business and technology and craft of this thing than anybody I've ever seen. And now that he's gone, it's like almost like a once in a generation voice. Like we're all realizing obviously that we've lost a once in a generation voice, which is so, it's so fucking stupid. Very G.G. Allen. Anyway, I was very, very fortunate that in the wake of his cult of personality, I was able to take on a small leadership role and get some experience working with a lot of people. It was not always easy for me to do that. That's all I want to say. Thanks all.